Once upon a time in the ancient city of Kufa, in an era when sciences flourished and cultures intertwined, at the beginning of the 3rd century Hijri, a boy of noble Arab descent was born named Yaqub ibn Ishaq al-Kindi. He was not content with merely receiving lessons, but eagerly sought to explore every branch of knowledge. He studied the Arabic language and its literature, then delved into the sciences of Islamic law and hadith, but his greatest passion was for rational sciences and philosophy. At that time, Baghdad, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, was a global center for translation. Al-Kindi suffered a severe ordeal. He was deprived of his magnificent library, which contained countless rare manuscripts and was like his very soul. His books were confiscated, and then his ideas moved from the Arabs to Europe in the Middle Ages. Al-Kindi departed in body, but his intellectual spirit remained alive in his books, which became lighthouses illuminating the paths of science and knowledge. It reminds us that the human mind is capable of overcoming difficulties, and that true wisdom lies in humility and the constant pursuit of understanding. Al-Kindi was a model of the encyclopedic scholar who combined authenticity with modernity, faith with reason, and left an indelible mark on the history of human thought. His story is the story of a human being who believed in the power of the mind and the importance of seeking truth, even if the price was facing hostility and hardship, forming a basis for the European Renaissance. His influence was immense on thinkers like Roger Bacon and others. He understood that knowledge is cumulative, and that every civilization builds upon the efforts of those who came before it, and his intellectual treasures were scattered. This was a painful blow to a scholar who considered books his loyal companions. He felt lost and pained, but he did not give up. He believed that knowledge could not be confiscated, and that true knowledge resided in the mind, not in manuscripts alone. This ordeal strengthened his resolve to disseminate his knowledge and defend his ideas, and sciences, where the treasures of Greek, Persian, and Indian thought were transferred into Arabic. Al-Kindi never ceased to contribute. He understood that his role as a philosopher was to illuminate the path for minds, and that truth was worth fighting for. Al-Kindi was a pioneer in using mathematics in medicine, writing about drug dosages and their effects. In astronomy, he corrected some errors in Ptolemy's theories. In music, he was the first to lay scientific foundations for Arabic music and spoke about the effect of music on the human soul. In chemistry, he was a sharp critic of those who falsely claimed to transmute base metals into gold, emphasizing the importance of the scientific method and experimentation. He continued to write and teach, leaving behind a vast legacy of works in various sciences. It is said that he authored more than 260 books and treatises in philosophy, logic, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, music, chemistry, and more. He was a true polymath, known as the philosopher of the Arabs, because Arabs. He was the first to systematically introduce Greek philosophy to the Islamic world and attempted to build upon it an authentic Arab thought. Al-Kindi was drawn to this intellectual light and decided to travel to Baghdad to complete his scientific journey. He was humble despite his vast knowledge, generous in his giving, and patient in facing difficulties. He was known for his love of goodness and his endeavor to spread knowledge among people. He did not aim for fame or wealth. His ultimate goal was to serve knowledge and truth. He believed that philosophy was the craft of crafts and the wisdom of judgments, and that it was the path to understanding existence and drawing closer to the Creator. Al-Kindi grew up in a distinguished family. His father was the Emir of Kufa, which provided him with a rich environment of knowledge and culture, enabling him to access the treasures of learning from an early age. During that period, there were sharp intellectual conflicts between different philosophical schools, and between philosophers and some jurists who saw philosophy as a threat to faith. Al-Kindi found himself at the heart of this intellectual storm. His bold ideas, which sought to reconcile philosophy and Islamic law, provoked the resentment of some. He was accused of heresy and apostasy and faced strong hostility from some of his contemporaries who did not grasp the depth of his methodology or accept his audacity in seeking the truth. From his childhood, Al-Kindi displayed exceptional intelligence and an insatiable curiosity. Baghdad during the reign of Caliph Al-Mun was like a scientific beehive. It housed Beit al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom, which contained thousands of manuscripts from various civilizations. Al-Kindi immersed himself in this vast ocean of knowledge and learned Greek and Syriac, which enabled him to read original philosophical and scientific texts. He was not merely a translator, but also a critic, corrector, and analyst. He would rephrase ideas, add his own genius to them, and point out their strengths and weaknesses. He believed that wisdom was the believer's lost property. Wherever he found it, he had the most right to it, and that knowledge knows no boundaries or nationalities. However, Al-Kindi's journey was not paved with roses. At one point, despite these challenges, Al-Kindi possessed a unique personality. In the field of medicine, Al-Kindi was a bridge between civilizations. He transferred the sciences of the Greeks to the Arabs, added his own genius to them. In his later years, after a life full of scientific and philosophical contributions, he passed away in Baghdad. The story of Al-Kindi teaches us that the passion for knowledge knows no bounds, and that challenges can be a catalyst for creativity. Let generations be inspired by the story of this great philosopher, and let them follow his determination in seeking knowledge, and let them know that knowledge is the true power by which civilizations are built and minds are enlightened.